Hey, what up, people? This is Mani Karthik here. Welcome to another episode of Blogging 101. Today, we're gonna take a question that one of our users asked me. So let's take a look. All right, so this question comes from Bala, and he asks, "Hello, Mr. Karthik. Read about your guide to start a blog. Couldn't find a plan on GoDaddy which has the ability to monetize my site with ads. Could you please suggest where it's on WordPress plan of GoDaddy?" Okay, so I think Bala here is misled in one way or the other. Well, sorry to break you the news, but that's not how it works. GoDaddy is a hosting provider, which means it's like renting your house, right? So if you don't have a place to live, you rent a house from someone else and you live there. So essentially, in the same way, you rent a hosting provider, so GoDaddy or HostGator or DigitalOcean or whichever it is, and then you buy a space there and you put your website up there. So that's essentially what a hosting provider does. And GoDaddy has optimized WordPress plans and you can buy them, it's super cheap, and you would have a website ready on GoDaddy. But that's about it. Now, there are two things you have to do after getting a website online, which is number one, you have to create your own content, which means you have to write more stuff. So for example, if you're having a photography blog, you have to write about, photography tips, your experiences. What is the stuff that you can share with other people who would want to know about photography? The second thing you have to do is obviously put in ads so that you can monetize your website. And I always say, make sure you have enough traffic, you have enough traction in terms of the kind of content you publish before you put in ads. Don't go for ads like the very first month of starting your blog, because that's a very bad experience for your users. So make sure you invest some time in creating your blog, make some critical mass there, which means have at least 50 number of articles or X number of traffic from Google. Or set these targets yourself. And once you hit the target, make sure you go for monetization. And in monetization, you have different products that you can choose from. The number one and the most popular one is Google's own product. It's called AdSense, where you can just sign up for the website, submit your websites. There's a vetting process, which means they will look into your website, they look for the content, they look into whether you're adhering by their guidelines and rules. And if you do, they accept you into the program. And once you get accepted, they'll give you a small snippet of code, which when you place on your website will show relevant ads that are very contextual to the kind of content that you have. So it's very difficult to get approved on AdSense these days, because a lot of people do it just for the heck of making money, and AdSense and Google doesn't actually recommend it. They say you create a website first, create value for your customers, and then you look into monetization. Don't create a website just for making money, because they can easily sense it from the kind of layout you have, the kind of content you have, the kind of optimization you've done. So don't do that. That's why I say don't put in ads in the very first month. Wait for some time. Make sure you have some critical mass build up and then go for monetization. Now, if you don't get approved into AdSense, you have other alternatives too. There are stuff like buysell-ads.com, there's Chitika, there's media.net, different types of advertising platforms wherein you can sign up, and once they approve, you can put ads on your website. So I'll have a link down in the description which will take you to different alternatives of AdSense. So wherein you can sign up and get ads going on your website. But again, please don't put ads in the very first month. Wait for the time when you have more content, more traffic coming in, and then go in for monetization. So I hope that answers Bala's question about finding a plan on GoDaddy. There is no plan on GoDaddy which has a monetization option. It is basically a server space where you put in your WordPress website, and then it's up to you to generate the content and find out advertising options. So I hope that question is answered. If you have any questions, let me know in comments or email me at hi@manikarthik.com. This is Mani Karthik signing off.